And we're back with the KEL Online Invitational Round of 16. We've got another banger match on our hands. Seed 8 versus Seed 9, a Polish player versus an American player. We've got Milos, we've got decaten, two really strong mouse players. I'm Miles, and joining me here on the broadcast is TorvaZero. What do you think of this match?
I think it's going to be a really interesting matchup. I mean, both of them are really terrifying players in their own regards. And, I mean, I feel like they have abilities where they can overlap each other and then their own specialties where they will absolutely shine. I think it'll be a really interesting match, and I think it will get more and more interesting as this match goes on, because I feel like they'll get more in the zone, more warmed up especially. And it could end up being very, very interesting to see how this goes.
But first, I think we do need to address the elephant in the room, being that decaten he almost overslept this match. Woke up just about 10 minutes ago. Just enough time to get in the lobby and, avoid the FF. But we're going to see how he can manage to play in that state, because that is not where you want to be when you're going against a player as strong as Milos. You can see obvious DT2 ban coming out from him at the start. He's going to have to ban a couple of those DTs, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. Going from just waking up with literally no time to have a warm-up and then going into speed, that's already a bad time for everyone. Then having to do that against Milos, that's an even worse time. It's not something I think anyone should ever risk, ever. So I think it's a good idea to probably get rid of DT2 and No Mod 5. I'm also seeing the ban from Milos being the Hard Rock 3, a very solid ban against decaten, I would say. And yeah, there it is, the decaten getting rid of No Mod 5 immediately, understandable.
I think HR3, that's a respectful ban after just waking up. He could have gone for, I think there are specific types of maps that are easier to play after just waking up. Like, I think decaten, you don't really worry about his aim control that badly, at least at the start of the match. So No Mod 4 could have been a ban for Milos based on that. But instead, gonna opt for the Hidden 3 ban. So we've got the Slider Tech map out, and we've got sort of that stream aim control flow map out. And I'm actually kind of surprised about the Hidden 3 ban. I thought he might have gone for something a little more aim control heavy than that.
Yeah, I was kind of expecting that as well, but I do kind of get it. I mean, it's a map I think both of them could definitely do something crazy on, but I do think decaten could probably, even with less of a warm-up, if he picks it later when he's a bit more warmed up, could definitely do something a bit crazier on that Hidden 3. But, it's still one of those ones I think it could have been 50-50. I maybe would have gotten rid of something like, maybe like No Mod 4, but I mean, either way, I think the bans are very, very solid, and both of them are going for pretty much optimal bans against each other.
But Milos is going to start right off with the punish pick, DT3. The speed is coming out. I believe this is in the realm of 270 AR 10.5, I think. So, yeah, this is a rude awakening for decaten if he is on no sleep like we predict.
Yeah, imagine just waking up and your first map of playing, again, like 10, 20 minutes after waking up, you're thrown straight into 285 BPM tapping hell. I mean, that's what is just happening now, and I have a feeling this is going to be, yeah, a bit of a struggle for decaten, a bit of an understream or under tap on some of these bursts. But honestly, this will be a very quick way to warm up, I won't lie.
Yeah, and I mean, even if decaten didn't just wake up, I think this would be a pretty good pick for Milos anyways. Decaten, I think good at DT, not really good at speed. Like, you could expect him to pick a DT1 maybe or a DT4, but something like this, a lot of high speed, a lot of finger control, maybe something that he's a little less comfortable on than those other maps.
Yeah, I mean, this is also just like Milos' bread and butter, like a high BPM, good bit of finger control, good bit of everything in there with like a bit of aim control as well, because some of these sliders, you can't go too early, you can't go too late. I mean, it's just a Milos map if I've seen a few of them. And, I mean, I'll give decaten the fact of having just warmed up, so score's fine, but it's still looking pretty one-sided as, to be expected on the just waking up side of things. But Milos also just putting out a pretty scary score as well, bringing out 430k pretty quickly. I mean, one way to open a match, I would say, for Milos.
And pretty quickly is an understatement. This map is only 1 minute 13 seconds long, so less than TV size, and this first pick is already over. That's a shotgun of a pick on the board for Milos to go up 1-0, and now decaten, I think, bit more of an important pick coming out for him. Do you pick a long map, which there is no shortage of in this pool, to warm up, or do you pick something shorter that you may have wanted to pick anyways if you were warmed up?
Yeah, I mean, that is the interesting one. Like, do you want to take the risk and gamble of picking short maps and just pray you have, just the overall fundamentals even after just waking up to play them, or trying to extend a warm-up as much as possible? I respect that Miloj is already apologizing for, forcing decaten to play that DT3 immediately. Yeah, understandable, though. I feel like, I don't know, I can't guess what decaten's pick strategy would be, because my initial ideas have kind of been thrown out the window with the no warm-up. But I feel like I could still see maybe like a hidden one coming out, a normal 4 coming out as solid options to just get himself in the zone, get himself ready to play.
Yeah, he has no shortage of really long maps in this pool to go for. I think maps like the DT4 being that map isn't really a speed map. It's something he can be more comfortable on. But it is going to be the Nomad 4. Okay, this, I think on a traditional day, would be decaten's strongest pick in the map pool. This map being a sort of alty techie pick with a lot of snap aim control being... That's his clip farm skill set. If you go on his Twitter, scroll down his media page, he posts videos of himself hitting patterns 10 times harder than the ones in this map on the daily. But, being this early, I don't know if I can condone this pick first. I would have expected this one to be saved a little bit.
Yeah, saving it for when, you're at prime warm-up and you're ready to just put out a score that can almost guarantee wins against anyone. But, I mean, also may just have the confidence in, the raw fundamentals and knowing that they can still put out a good enough score on it to be happy with. And if that's the case, I mean, you're still going to have that, confidence in them. Because, I mean, as you mentioned, right, decaten's hit so many things that are, like, leagues and bounds harder than this map has at its peak. So, going a bit down on the difficulty, even with it just, with them just waking up, I think he can still put out a pretty solid score on this just from fundamentals alone.
Yeah, and I mean, this isn't really the type of skill set that you really lose, I think, your mojo on just because you're not warmed up. Like, there's no intense tapping in this. The approach rate is really accessible for both of these players. But yeah, this map, just about 4 minutes in length. As I mentioned, snap aim control. A lot of that in this. Have to worry about snapping those cuts properly, and just a little bit more accessible than that DT3, I think.
Just a tad bit, especially if you're, a bit more comfortable on this skill set. You got a bit more wiggle room to play with and not have to worry about ultra pain, high BPM turbo tapping. This map, getting a bit more focused on the aim and just control in general, which, as we've mentioned before, decaten being very well known for being very, very scary on, and I mean, very early in, showing that still comfortable, but an unfortunate break to be found. Miloj able to take a pretty sharp lead here with 99% accuracy, 450 combo, and still building, but we're only reaching the quarter part of the map. There's still a chance for decaten to, fully bring himself into the zone and still bring it back, assuming Miloj doesn't full combo.
But he did find another slider break there, so Miloj is only going to be able to run away with the lead further here. As we get into one of these key eye sections, spacing increases a little bit, but Miloj just looks so poised here. Finally dropping below 99%, but still 69k lead and growing. Decaten really needs to start holding on to something.
Yeah, it needs to start finding that combo game as soon as possible. Another break not to help the score at any mean. It's looking a bit rough out here, which is not ideal. Not what you want to see on this caliber match, but it happens sometimes. And especially when you're looking on the other side of Miloj, still holding on to 99, still holding on to the full combo. Getting to the halfway point of the map, just no major mistakes to be found. This is just looking like a very strong area for Miloj as well, on top of, the unfortunate disadvantage decaten is at.
Yeah, well, Miloj just continues to impress me, to be honest. Every time I see him in a tournament, he's performing really strong on a skill set that I wouldn't expect him to perform as strong on in the past. Like, in the past, you really look at him as being, this sort of speed/aim specialist. But in the World Cup, he really impressed me with his reading prowess, and now here he is on a kind of snap alt tech map, performing really well out of the gate. First 2/3 of the way, still holding on to the FC. Just really goes to show why he's now considered one of the strongest tournament players in the game.
Yeah, I mean, I'm seeing Miloj get compared to the older memes of Marami Cat, and honestly, every time I see Milosh play, the more and more I start to believe it, because the aim ability when it comes to control or just raw aim in general is just there in spades. It comes to the tapping, it's there in spades, and just fully showcasing it off this map, you know, crossing over that 1400 combo, battle cross over the 1500 combo, still at 99.3% accuracy. Like, even if, you know, decaten was, you know, a bit more awake, a bit more warmed up, this still would be one hell of a fight to go against. And I mean, decaten is recovering quite nicely, crossing over to 500 combo, getting that 97% accuracy, but unfortunately another break to be found. And now the eyes and the question is, does Milosh close this map out with a full combo? Can he do it? Yeah, I think he could definitely, but in tournament, in a match, it takes a bit more than what you would in solo play.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm seeing no uncertainty in his aim. He has just looked so poised all the way through. I don't expect him to find a break on this ending. He's gotten through all the really difficult patterns of the map. And decaten finding another drop. 600k almost of score difference. You know, if Milosh does FC with 99.5%, you can't even put a question mark on this pick for if decaten was awake, because this score is nigh unbeatable, and he gets the full combo.
That is unbelievable from Milosh. That is just an incredible performance. Yeah, I don't think many people are beating that. A 10-100 full combo, like, that is just unfathomable for that No Mod 4. Just, and almost anyone else, even in prime condition, is not going to really keep up with that caliber of a score so quickly.
That's just a nutty performance. I mean, getting the FC on your opponent's first pick, there's nothing more demoralizing you can do in a tournament match.
Just can't do anything.
He just laid him out.
Milosh is just terrifying. And I just get reminded of it more and more every single time.
Now, his pick, once again, still got a DT map open. A couple of them, actually. The DT1 and the DT4, if he wants to stay in the mod pool. But I'm starting to be under the impression that Milosh might be able to pick about anything in this map pool and look better right now.
Yeah, oh. That is, I mean, a pick I wasn't expecting Milosh to go into so early, but I also really respect it. Going into the No Mod 6, going into the low AR, really weird reading map. Oh, wait, no, wait, hold on. Okay, there we go, that updated, sorry. Yeah, so yeah, Milosh picking the No Mod 6. I mean, as you mentioned, right, with OWC, like, being really good at reading, I still didn't expect this to be the early pick for Milosh.
I expected this to come out for Milosh in this map, or in this match, because decaten, again, not really known as a low AR player, and Milosh kind of having this skill set in his back pocket.
Yeah.
And I'm seeing in chat, apparently Deca didn't have the map for this one, so yeah, maybe not a map decaten is expecting to win in this matchup. So another, I think, very effective pick from Milosh about to come out.
Yeah. Like, it's a pick I maybe could have seen coming. I just wasn't expecting it to be, you know, like third map, sorry. Because how just weird and difficult this map is. And, I mean, you see a few misses coming out from decaten, and I mean, even in prime condition, you can't blame him. This map is just so difficult, so evil on the reading, the tapping. Everything required for it is just at its maximum because of how awkward this map truly is, especially some of those doubles.
Another crazy thing about this map is that this was reused from World Cup. I think we pulled it in semifinals in World Cup 2025. So this is a map that both of these players should have at least practiced before. And I think we're seeing out of the gate, if decaten didn't have the map, I mean, you don't expect him to really be in on that USA gimmick roster, but Milosh being in for just about every sort of map for Poland, going to be well practiced on this.
Even if decaten had practiced for OWC, not having the map may show that, you know, maybe not liking the map too much, and honestly, not being that comfortable with the map is understandable. I just can't get over how, you know, difficult this map actually is. I can't stress it enough. You have to play this in your own right to really get it, because watching it, it looks difficult. Playing it is just something else. It is so evil of a map. In some of these patterns, like that stream, for example, right? You can see the start and stops. When you're playing the map, it is so much harder to figure out when you're actually starting and stopping. And then you just see Milosh pulling out, you know, climbing the accuracy up to 94.5, holding on to a 400 combo almost, even hitting the wiggle without any problems, but misses on the linear.
Dude, he was manually wiggling those. Like, you're able to cheese those in the middle, I think, but he was just doing that for style points. But missing on that shouldn't matter, though. He's got 225k of score lead over decaten, and I think if he had 100k less, I would still be certain that he's going to win this map. With a quarter to go with 71% on the opposing side. We're just going to coast into the ending here.
Yeah, I think, you know, the map was set in stone pretty quickly, and with the reading capabilities milosh is definitely demonstrating here. But, like, it still can't be undermined just how insane, you know, 320k score on this can be. I mean, I saw someone mention in the chat earlier about, you know, milosh getting 700k on this apparently in OWC, which is, honestly inhumane. And, you know, bringing out... Wait, he hit the cat slider as well. I respect it. Still bringing out a 350k basically here. I mean, that is still just an insanely disgusting score.
Yeah, I mean, and the crazy thing is, that's less than half of his score from OWC if he got 700k, 348, just under half. And still beat his opponent by about 300k, so... Yeah, just a great pick for milosh here to go up 3-0 and consolidate that breakpoint now. Deca, you've got to warm up now. You've got to pick something you're comfortable on. I think HR1 could have been a good pick here, or could be a good pick here, just to get yourself a little bit more warmed up. It's a 5-minute aim map. It's something where you're going to be a little bit more warm after playing that, but let's see what he goes for. I think on a traditional match, he might consider going for the Nomad 3 here, that sort of flow aim finger control pick, but I don't think he goes for that right now.
Yeah, I'm eyeing up that Hard Rock one as a very solid idea to go into. But if he's feeling comfortable on the ult, feeling like, you know, his tapping is warmed up to an acceptable level, then, I mean, the Nomad 3 DT4, I think, are definitely options on the table. Just, as long as we avoid the Nomad 2, I think we're okay.
Also hidden 1. Okay, but he's going to go for the HR2. Okay. This map is one of my favorite tournament skill sets, especially in 1v1, where you have this high precision plus really awkward flow aim control. It just feels, it's RNG, but it's so interesting to watch because it feels like you can just start chain missing on any pattern.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. It's the small sacrifice CS7, like, it's already out of the comfort range of a lot of, like, Hard Rock 2 maps. And then adding on top of the fact that this map is also just pretty weird in its own sense, it is so easy to just go from, you know, having a pretty good combo to just falling apart in a moment and just blinking and going, huh? What happened? And then going back to playing the map perfectly fine just afterwards. Because it is just so easy to find those random breaks on this map. But I think both of them should be relatively comfortable on it.
And this is another type of map where on a good day you expect decaten to have an advantage on something like this over a player like milosh. But out of the start, not a great look for decaten, already finding a couple of chain misses down at 89%, while milosh looks very poised out of the start, hitting everything, continues to get through those cuts.
Yeah, just seeing how the first quarter goes for them so far. A bit unfortunate for the intro on decaten side. I mean, you know, just a bit behind by 60k. Accuracy just getting to 94 again. But milosh on the other side, 300 combo, 98%. Just super comfortable. I mean, even the wiggle pattern to not catch him out, but after No Mod 6, that doesn't surprise me. After manually aiming very evil wiggles, I think he's going to be feeling really comfortable on the aim, especially with this kind of map, even at CS7.
Now, decaten has brought up a respectable combo now, up at 300. But in order to take advantage of that, he needs to see a break from milosh, but approaching the halfway point of the map here, milosh is just looking so calm, so poised, getting through that little wiggle halfway through, still FCing, and the map can't really open up for decaten unless that starts to drop, but I don't know if that's going to happen, Torva.
Yeah, it's going to take a lot of work. I mean, there's still half the map remaining. There's still chances for milosh to just, you know, find a random, unexpected break on something he's never found before. You know, those options are still there, but it is also then... Okay, hey. As I was saying of it, it just happens. And now the wound has opened. There is still a possibility for decaten to bring the score lead back. But it is going to take a lot of work, and those are not the misses you want to find. Even though they're traded, it's still 128k deficit to be found from decaten right now.
He had the opportunity with the combo there, but needed to FC through the ending, and just not going to happen for decaten. 96k score lead, I think the lowest we've seen this match, but that is still a score lead for Milos into the ending.
Yeah, I mean, that early combo from Milos getting every bit of leeway they needed to, you know, put them in a pretty comfortable situation, getting a bit of a safety net, even for the ending where, you know, a bit of a genuinely random, unexpected miss coming in from Milos. Even with another miss being found, closing 110k in this short amount of time just is not going to be happening in any case scenario, unless decaten brought in some insane combo with him.
And into the spinner, it's going to be a second breakpoint for Milos to go up 4-0. And in a best of 11, you don't have any more space left if you're decaten. If Milos wins this next pick, you will be down at match point.
Yeah, I mean, this is the almost the worst case scenario so far for decaten. I mean, unwarmed still, you know, still trying to get themselves in the flow state, and against a player who is just absolutely shredding on all of these maps as well, putting out just really, really good scores all the whole time. It's going to take a lot of work to, you know, start bringing that score lead back, but it's not impossible at all. If decaten warms up within this map, or is warmed up by this point, it is definitely possible for him to start clawing it back, but it is going to still take a lot of work and, honestly, a lot of strong mental for it too.
I mean, I think it's also a tough call because decaten has used up a couple of his strongest picks that he would have wanted to maybe stage a comeback on, which is why I thought the strategy would be maybe just pick any long map to get yourself warmed up before picking something like the Nomad 4 or the HR2, because you want to play those when you're ready to FC them, I think.
Yeah, I'd agree on that statement as well. You know, getting ready to, you know, have them, at least if you're having to warm up in match, save your best maps for, you know, this case scenario where you can just start actually popping off with your warm up being done and dusted. But, you know, if it helps you warm up and puts you a bit more comfortable on the maps you're not so expected on, you know, it could still bring the hope there. It's just going to take, again, a lot more effort, a lot more work, and honestly, even a slight bit more luck as well, just hoping your opponent finds the most random breaks possible.
And it's going to be not the HR2. I believe our overlay is wrong. This is the hidden 2, so more low AR. Just Milos unfaltering with his punishment of decaten in this match. Low AR hidden, but this map I think is a lot more simple than the Nomad 6. It's really just low AR aim the whole way through, so it's something where even a player like decaten, who isn't necessarily a low AR hidden player, he'll be able to read this, he should be able to aim this, but will his consistency match up to what Milos will be able to offer? I'm not sure. Okay, so we just got word that the stream overlay has died and we need to restart it, so we're going to be missing the first part of this map. Oh, we aborted it. Okay, never mind.
Okay, oh good. We do get to see the hidden 2 get played out. Which will be nice, because I feel like hidden 2 could definitely yield some fun results for this one, because I'm not too sure on the decaten side of things, but decaten is relatively comfortable on this, right?
Well, I think he'll be able to get a decent baseline score just because the map is pretty simple. But he is not the type of player to be good at low AR hidden. Like, if this map were as weird as the Nomad 6 or anything in that vein, if it were anything more than just low AR aim, I don't think he would get a very good score.
Alright, that's fair enough then. So at least he has the aim side of things to be in his favor. Milos on the other side, I feel like is going to be pretty comfortable on this. I mean, has strong reading capabilities, has terrifying aim capabilities. It's a scary map to go into. But maybe the RNG gods are on the side of decaten. Maybe they happen.
Yeah, well, I think he's going to need a little divine intervention if he wants to get back into this match. He would have had to wake up, I think, a couple maps ago, because it's looking like after this, with that low AR pick into him, that he might be going down to match point by the end of this pick. And if you're Decaten already lacking, I think, 2 of your strong picks in the pool, like, he has to pick, like, HR1 or, like, No Mod 3, which is something that I think is a lot more contentious.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, having those be all dwindled down picks is not ideal, to say the least. I mean, having so many maps, you know, available to both of you and having your main focused maps kind of already gone, you're putting yourself in a really unlucky situation where you are just gonna have to start, you know, winning maps that you're not so comfortable on, but your opponent actually might be. I mean, for example, I feel like, you know, like, if Decaten starts bringing it back, he's gonna have to win on something like the No Mod 1, No Mod 2, just to keep himself in the game, and especially that No Mod 2, I think it's gonna be pretty difficult.
Mm-hmm. All right, and it looks like we're back. Hidden 2, once again. This is our low AR awkward aim pick, where there is nothing really about this map to hit you other than the aim. So, is your aim on point? That is the question that will be asked to both of these players on this one.
Yeah, that is the question they're hoping for. An unfortunate early break for Decaten, but he is looking a bit cleaner now on the aim than he was, especially very, very early in. So the warm-up definitely starting to come into play. Milosh just as clean as always when it comes to the, you know, just aim capabilities and reading capabilities. Just no sweat whatsoever. Another unfortunate break for Decaten. Not starting to look good, especially with the first core of the map being over, 3 misses in, and a bit of an accuracy deficit, but not completely unrecoverable, assuming Milosh finds a break relatively soon.
And it feels like we've been in this place before this match, Torva, where we're saying we just need a break from Milosh, but it's just not going to happen. Not at this star rating. He's just way too comfortable on all of these picks.
Yeah. Milosh is just too scary of a player. This is just a light work star rating for this guy. Just no sweat whatsoever. And another unfortunate break for Decaten. Milosh is just holding on. I believe currently matching the replay score from Desuk, which is a bit of an insane metric to have in match. Oh, unfortunate missing on the left side. The combo is gone, but Decaten, I don't think will have enough combo to try and close it out for the last quarter, especially with a bit of a chain miss there. 4 misses on the aim. It's a bit unfortunate as that score lead is continuing to move in favor of Milosh. And it's another case where, you know, Decaten's kind of got us back against the wall, and having, you know, an unfortunate case scenario with the earlier moments of the match, Decaten's in a really bad position.
Yeah, I mean, the clock might be about to strike noon in the state of Texas, but it looks like it will be striking midnight on Decaten's winner bracket life here in KEL if the match continues in this way. Milosh up 5-0. Decaten back against the wall. Needs to win every pick from now on if he wants to win this one.
Yeah, and having to bring a reverse sweep if he wants the hope there, and having, I mean, sound like a broken record, but having your main picks that you would absolutely shred on being, you know, kind of gone by now. This is where things get a bit spooky. But it is his pick. He has options he can go into, as you mentioned, you know, No Mod 3, DT4 definitely being openly available. Same as maybe the Hard Rock 1. All of them being open and available.
Mm-hmm. And I'm not really sure where I would go now if I'm Deca. Potentially Hidden 1 as well, a map that's open for him.
Yeah, true.
That map being, you know, kind of alt-aim map, but it's going to be the No Mod 3, okay. Flow aim finger control, I think, is what this one is mostly about.
Yeah, a bit of flow aim finger control. Just hoping and hold the combos. I mean, we saw, you know, I Am a Kokoro and Welter put out some really strong scores on this. I Am a Kokoro bringing in the full combo on this map. I mean, this map definitely has a challenge to it, but at the caliber of these players, they should be pretty comfortable on this, and it shouldn't be too much of a stretch for them to bring out some crazy scores, I believe.
And I mean, on this type of map, I just think back to that OWC Grands match in the first set, where USA picked this map to force the tiebreaker against Australia, actually. That was in the losers final. But that map was a lot harder than this one.
Yeah, going to a bit of a comfortable star rank for these players. 7.07 stars, 3-minute drain time as well. So they, they get a chance to maybe have a bit of an early fumble, but chance to definitely bring those recoveries back. But, against a player like Miloj, I don't think an early fumble is a safe bet. Even a tactical miss doesn't feel safe against this guy. So you just have to play completely dialed in no matter what case scenario it is. And, I mean, early in, seeing the comfort from both of them starting to shine out now. I mean, decaten starting to look a lot nicer than he was earlier in. And Miloj just being just confident as he always has been this match, and kind of always is in matches in general. Bringing in, 360 combo, still holding on to the double S. decaten a bit behind on the accuracy, but is keeping up that combo game as much as he can. Absolutely matching it completely. But the first quarter is done and dusted.
Yeah, once again, this is one of decaten's typical comfort skill sets. The place where I worried for him on this is the fact that he's not warmed up. He might not be able to tap those bursts in this map. But as long as he can hold on to the FC, all he needs to hope for is a miss from Miloj to be able to start to take the lead. But right now, it's going to be about 25k in favor of Miloj, just based off the accuracy alone. He is looking so strong with that almost double S on this one.
Yeah, I mean, like, what, 100 dropped so far? Maybe 2? And just holding on. I mean, that might be the second 100 drop. And he's just looking so crispy clean on this map right now. I mean, decaten is matching him every step of the way, but just a bit, unfortunately, a bit behind on the accuracy from the earlier moments of the map. But it's only a 30k difference. One slip up from Miloj is all it takes, but that's all it's been taking for a lot of the maps we've had so far, and those haven't been found at the right time so far. And decaten is unfortunately the one to fall, but Miloj actually trading it back really quickly.
The trade does come in, but this is where decaten needed to have a combo. The accuracy lead still squarely in favor of Miloj, which makes a lot of difference on these longer maps. But now that lead is just going to stay comfortably at 51k. And in the last quarter of the map, that's all you need if you're Miloj.
All it takes, the break to happen, but it's a fifth of the map remaining. It's 40k to close. It's gonna take a strong effort to be brought back over, but the possibility is definitely there as that score lead is closing pretty quickly, and decaten is just gonna keep holding on, even with the accuracy from Miloj. Those chain misses there are gonna bring it closer to be brought back over. And this is a chance for decaten to shine, and he is absolutely taking it. One of the awkward streams to not catch him out, and Miloj starts trying to recover, but the damage is being done, especially as it's 20k score lead back over. And I think I saw a small bit of celebration there from decaten, holding on to that combo. 644 going into the ending, bringing himself a point on the board. Ladies and gentlemen, it is not a sweep. That is what we love to see.
decaten holding on there at the ending. Really clutch stuff from him. Did get caught out from the burst like worried, but was able to hold on through everything else. And, just a little bit better of an ending portion there for Deca. Miloj finding a few breaks, that's all it needs. But now, Miloj, it's time for the final punish. It's DT1.
Yeah, okay, before I mention the DT1, I got an important note for every one of you watching at home. If you want to see more tournaments like this hosted by our amazing hosts, or anything more related to do with KEL, please type !Kofi if you have the funds to donate to our fundraiser. We want to host more events like this. I mean, KEL has been such an amazing experience online and in LAN. So if you have the funds to donate, please do. Every one of us will appreciate it, and especially those hosts. Now, on to the DT1. This map and song are both bangers. It is 261 with a bit of aim, a bit of bursts, a bit of everything in there. And it's just a good tune. And this is some of the most fun ones you like to, you love to hear.
But I fear for decaten that this is exactly in Miloj's comfort skill set here. Hybrid is a classification of map where he has utterly dominated. In solo especially, has just set some of the best scores in the game. I'm just thinking about asymmetry with DT. This is a lot easier than that. And decaten on the burst, already finding trouble. This is going to be a tough look, I fear, Torva.
Yeah, I mean, facing against Miloj in something where, he's just unbelievably comfortable. I mean, imagine having to play hybrid against someone called Moramika. Like, there's not much you can think of and go, yeah, I can win that and be, considered sane, because it's just like that unique specialty of inhumane aim, inhumane tapping, inhumane consistency, and you just have Milosh. That's Milosh for you, and this map, I feel like, is just going to showcase that more and more. I mean, decaten is putting up a decent fight, you know, one early break, about 200 combo in, but has recovered. Does have, you know, a decent bit of accuracy of 96.7 and climbing, but Milosh is at 99.7 and is probably just going to keep building as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough when you're up against a guy who, like, this guy DTs maps that I think most of the game would be very satisfied with Hard Rock FCs on. Like, he's just at a different level on something like this, and decaten finding repeated breaks, repeated accuracy drops. There's just not really anywhere for him to go on this unless Milosh's mouse disconnects. I think that's the only way for decaten to start coming back on this, although he does find the drop, so first miss in here for Milosh, but no combo on the side of decaten to really take advantage of that.
Yeah, it's going to take a lot for that to happen. I mean, halfway in the map, and I was going to say the hope was there. Milosh found the break, but decaten traded it within 5 combo. And now, you know, it's still maybe doable with 140k score difference. decaten unfortunately finding a few breaks there, 4 misses to be found. If Milosh just, like, completely fumbles, and actually finds a miss instead of a blimmin' slider break, might be doable. Maybe. Someone unplug the mouse. Just someone unplug his mouse.
I think even with the misses, I'm just so impressed with the 99.6 on this. Like,
yeah,
those bursts are no slouch to hit.
Like, holding on to strong accuracy for this, like, it's so difficult. I mean, it's 260 BPM. This, however, a lot of these players are comfortable with this BPM, but the control required for it is still a challenge, and especially on the longer streams, you still do need a decent bit of comfort on that tapping, and I mean, it's just being shown in spades from Milosh. Another unfortunate break from decaten, and I saw an act drop on the longer stream, but, you know, it's still holding up a decent score, a solid score to say the least, but Milosh is just on his home turf when it comes to skill sets at this point, and the accuracy just represents it in spades.
And I think even in a match where decaten was here and warmed up, I think Milosh just had such an advantage going into this match in terms of skill set coverage. The fact that he's able to save a map like this to be the closeout pick, he had 2 low AR picks, he had DT picks, the 2 opposite ends of the spectrum in terms of skill sets. This shows how strong of a tournament player he has become, and going into the ending with the big combo, 682k, Milosh will not be locking out the sweep, but a gentleman's 6-1 over decaten.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, fair play on decaten to getting a point on the board, and a pretty convincing one as well. Like, that No More 3, you know, coming to the ending was very, very comfortable for him. Very, very solid performance, especially having, you know, again, to mention, as we mentioned a lot at the start of the match, going from waking up, getting out of bed, and immediately joining the multi to get into the tournament. I mean, you've got to respect the performance that decaten still put out despite that. You know, some of the scores were brought out. But Milosh is Milosh. If you don't have a full warm-up against this guy, and you're not fully dialed in, he is just going to punish it in every single way possible, and that case just happened here again. I mean, just a phenomenal performance coming out from Milosh.
Yeah, and I was seeing some discourse in the chat during the match about where Milosh ranks in, like, top tourney players in the game right now. And I think the consensus people are coming to is he might not be top 2. I think that's reserved. He might not be top 3 or 4, but definitely, I think, a contender for top 5, being one of the best tourney players in the game right now. Just such good skill set coverage, and decaten needed to set an alarm maybe a couple hours ago in order to have a chance, even though the seeding was so close at 8 versus 9. But overall, a great match played for Milosh, and don't go away. We've still got a lot of matches left today. The next one is going to be starting in 1 hour and 7 minutes. We've got another Poland versus USA match here. We've got Evaxa versus Rectigon. So another match that I think you all should be here watching. That one's going to be a banger. How about you, Torva?
I think it'll be an absolute banger, and I can assure you now, I see both of them playing the game right now, so they'll be warmed up and primed for that match. It'll be an interesting battle. You have, you know, a very, very experienced tournament player of Rectigon who is, you know, so known as being well-rounded and has been put in the contention of the top 3 tournament players of all time in a lot of cases, and a lot of rankings, always being seen as, you know, top 5. And then going against, a newcomer in the tournament scene of Avaxa, who has also became really, really strong recently, becoming a lot more well-rounded. It could definitely be an interesting point, and I think they can definitely have a good back and forth between each other.
I'm really excited for that one, and you all should be too, so stick around, go get a snack. You've got time for that. Got time to go do whatever chores you need to do, because that one is going to be an absolute banger. But that's going to do it for this stream. Gonna go offline for a bit. I've been Miles, joined by Torva. Hope you all have a good rest of your day, and stick around for more action.
We'll see you there.